Hello everyone, welcome to Analog IAS Current Affair Analysis for 16th May 2020, and these are the articles we'll be dealing today. The pandemic and the challenge of behavior change. This is the first article for the day. This is taken from the Hindu and it talks about the importance of behavioral change to ensure that social distancing like norms become a way of life in our country. It is very difficult to change in the initial days, but with intense social media marketing and at the same time awareness promotion campaigns will ensure that this behavior is reinforced. So how do we ensure that there is a continued compliance with the recommended behavioral changes so that it is not against any social and cultural conventions? So whenever you're trying to create a new set of behavior, the most important part in India is it should not offend any social group, and at the same time you have to ensure that none of the cultural conventions come in their way to exhibit this behavioral pattern. So if we take the example of Prime Minister's call for a voluntary Janata curfew, it shows how we have to mix fear, patriotism and gratitude in a single context and appeal to the conscience of the public. So the writer says that this can be a very good example of how to enforce a behavioral change. So in this context, initiating cues to action is just not sufficient, but you also have to connect with the people emotionally. So that is why we have to have repeated cues to enforce this behavior, and that is what the government has done. Our economic survey also focuses on this behavioral change for a lot of policies to work. If you take the example of Swachh Bharat mission, even that requires a set of behavioral standards from the public in order to ensure that this behavior is sustained for a longer time and the objective of the mission is fulfilled. Therefore, at the end of the day, it is the leader's emotional quotient that comes into the picture to enforce this. After that, we also need to have a supportive policy framework which encourages this behavior. For a long time to come, COVID-19 crisis management hinges upon the support that we get from the public. So in order to ensure that behavioral change is exhibited by the public, the government and all the leaders across the states must convey that we are working together and we have to ensure that these set of behavioral standards are enforced till we find a vaccine. That is the gist of this article. This article is taken from the Indian Express and it is titled Freeing the Farm. So, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Friday opened the third tranche of this centre's new economic package called the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, and this was exclusively focused on agriculture, allied sectors like animal husbandry and fisheries. So some of the measures that are taken can be categorized into measures that strengthen the logistics and capacity building. So there is a 1 lakh crore agri infra fund for the farm gate infrastructure for farmers. So one of the major problems for our marketing, that is agricultural marketing, is the lack of adequate cold chain and post harvest management infrastructure. So because of this, perishable goods like vegetables and fruits used to suffer, and not only these, even the storage infrastructure for grains and cereals is not distributed uniformly across the country. In order to address this issue and focus on the short-term crop loans while investment in long-term agriculture infrastructure is taken care of, the government came up with this Agri Infra Fund. So the government wants to use the primary agricultural cooperative societies and farmer produce organizations and other agricultural entrepreneurs, startups, etc. to give them an impetus for development of farm gate and aggregation point infrastructure. So it should also be affordable and financially viable for post harvest management also, and all these aspects will be taken care by this agricultural infrastructure fund. The major thought process that we have to take into consideration here is, here the money is given out to the industry in the form of empowerment rather than an entitlement. So there is a philosophy that we have to teach a man how to fish rather than giving him the fish. So this is the underlying philosophy behind the way funds are allocated for different sectors in this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan pack. And it is a welcome move in a way because it is ensuring that our efficiency is taken care of, because unless and until structural reforms happen in our economy, it's like putting good fuel into a bad vehicle and expecting some good mileage. Unless and until we carry out these structural reforms, no matter how much money you put into the hands of the farmers, eventually they will be in debts. So we have to empower them. This is the way to empower it. So this has the potential to act as a harbinger of change, just like how LPG reforms reformed the face of our service industry as well as manufacturing industry to a large extent. These set of reforms that are announced yesterday are considered to be the landmark for agricultural sector. The government also announced that 10,000 crores were allocated for a scheme for formalization of micro-food enterprises. Now what is this? This scheme promotes the vision of our Prime Minister. The theme that our Prime Minister always advocated was vocal for local with global outreach. These terms can be very important for us, and we can use this in GS3 exam. So this 10,000 crores would be utilized for unorganized micro food enterprises which need technical upgradation to attain this FSSAI food standards. So this scheme will help nearly 2 lakh food enterprises. The next one is the existing food enterprises, farmer produce organizations, self-help groups and cooperatives will be supported through this scheme. They will be encouraged to set up their own food processing industries and come up with a cluster based approach. Say for example, when we're talking about cluster based approach, if you take the case of Uttar Pradesh, mangoes are very famous there. Or if you take the example of Jammu and Kashmir, saffron is very famous there. So each cluster should provide this economies of scale and ensure that they become processing units from which exports happen. So the expected outcome is it will improve the health and standards of the people working in that area, and the indirect benefit is crops which are famous in that particular geography will be grown in that geography, and there will not be any exotic species that are forcibly grown in that area. So by supporting this clusters, what we are actually doing is we are giving economies of scales to the farmer in a sustainable way. So the next set of reforms that the government has taken is with respect to Essential Commodities Act. So Essential Commodities Act was basically used for regulating the food items. Whenever there is a trader who is trying to hoard some material, citing public interest, the government can intervene and arrest that person. This has forced many corporates to step back from our country. Say for example, if you have a chips manufacturing company that wants to procure and store potatoes from different farmers for our future produce, those companies were discouraged by the government citing this Essential Commodities Act because it might spike an inflation in the food markets. Now what the government has done was to deregulate these markets and encourage the different players who are involved in these food processing industries so that they can set up their industries, provide more jobs. So this will also give rise to a contract farming law. A contract farming law means that this chips producer can directly make an agreement with the farmer to buy his produce. However, for this to happen, the government must also amend another act, that is the APMC Act. So generally APMC or the mandis are the places where farmers were forced to sell their produce till now and declining them any opportunity of getting into a contract farming. So this was a major disruption in many states, and that is the reason why farmers were not able to find remunerative prices. The middlemen at APMCs used to take away all the produce at a very low price. Now, in order to facilitate contract farming, even the APMC Acts will be deregulated slowly from now on. This will eventually move towards the ENAM or the National Agricultural Market, and it will empower the farmer. So most importantly, this will ensure that there is no restriction on interstate trade. That is the gist of this article.